Hello friends, continuing with scientific method, we come to next part of it, discovery of dual nature of matter and radiation. How different scientists applied scientific method to arrive at the conclusion of dual nature of matter and radiation. Let us see. First, we talk of Isaac Newton. He said, light propagates as a stream of tiny particles called as corpuscles, which travel with velocity of 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second and cast shadow when an opaque object come in between its path. You can see in the diagram, light is casting shadow, an object is coming in between its path. This is object and here it casts shadow. The light incident, the beam of light is made incident on the object here and it casts shadow. So when opaque object comes in between its path, it casts shadows, was the conclusion given by Isaac Newton on the basis of this type of experiment. This theory explained satisfactorily the phenomenon of reflection and refraction. That light propagates at a stream of tiny particles called as corpuscles, which travel with velocity of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second and cast shadow when opaque object comes in between its path. So this theory was capable of explaining satisfactorily the phenomenon of reflection and refraction. Then came Huygens wave theory of light. What Huygens said about nature of light? He said that light propagates as waves with velocity 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in a straight line and casts shadows only when wavelength of light is less than the dimensions of the obstacle between in its path, that is lambda is less than d, but bends from its straight line path and enters into geometrical shadow of the obstacle when wavelength of light is more than the dimensions of the obstacle in between its path, that is lambda is more than d. Here you can see in the diagram, here is the obstacle and it is a beam of light. Now here the wavelength of light is more than the dimensions of the obstacle in between parts and it enters into geometrical shadow, that is it bends from its straight line path. It should have come over here, but it has come on this side. So the light has entered geometrical shadow of the obstacle. Now Huygens did not discard Newton corpuscular theory of light. He but added to it that whenever lambda is more than dimensions d, only then it deviates from its straight line path. He did not negate the Isaac Newton's theory that it consists of corpuscles and travel in a straight line. But he added to it that whenever a wavelength lambda is more than dimensions of the obstacle in between its path, only then it deviates from its straight line path. This is how Huygens contributed. Then came uh, Young's double slit experiment. Confirmation of wave nature as proposed by Huygens' wave theory of light was made by Young's double slit experiment. Here you can see it's a monochromatic source of light. It is Young's double slit, and these are the patterns obtained on screen. Now, if light travels in a straight line, then the only image of uh, two slits would have been obtained on screen. Since we get more than two images on the screen, this shows that the nature of light is wave nature. It behaves as a wave. If it would have behaved as a corpuscle, then we would have got only two images on screen. Since it behaves as a wave, that's why we got multiple images on screen. So Young's double slit experiment confirmed the wave nature of light. Then came Einstein, dual nature of radiation. He first explained that the radiation possessed dual nature. He used Planck's idea that energy of a photon is equal to h nu. Energy of a photon is equal to h nu. And Einstein said energy of a particle of mass m traveling with velocity of light c is given by the expression E is equal to mc square, and compared the two expressions, left hand sides being same, right hand sides must be same. Therefore, he expressed as the two equations on comparing, he expressed them as h nu is equal to mc square. H nu is equal to mc square. The right hand side, he equated the right hand sides of the two equations mentioned above as h nu equal to mc square. But nu is equal to c by lambda and p is equal to mc. Therefore, he expressed the above expression as hc by lambda is equal to mc into c, or h by lambda is equal to p. That is, p is equal to h by lambda. Thus, a wave of wavelength lambda possesses momentum p and behaves as a material particle. So it possesses dual nature. So the radiation possesses dual nature. Einstein confirmed that the radiation possesses dual nature through these two equations, E is equal to h nu and E is equal to mc square. And then dual nature of matter came de Broglie. De Broglie in 1924, through his wave mechanical picture, said that a material particle behaves as a wave and gave an equation known after his name as de Broglie wave equation. De Broglie wave equation. This is de Broglie wave equation. Lambda is equal to h by p, and theoretically predicted the wavelength of electron lambda is equal to 12.27 divided by under root v, where v is the accelerating potential of electron. Then came Davison and Germer. In 1927, they measured experimentally the wavelength of electron as lambda equal to 1.65 angstrom using Bragg's law, and then verifying them with de Broglie wave hypothesis. And 1929 Nobel Prize went to de Broglie. Now you see, in all these processes or experiments, right from Isaac, Huygens, Thomas Young's double slit experiment, Einstein's observations, and de Broglie wave hypothesis, you see all of them have employed a scientific method. First observations were made, then they put forward their logical reasoning, they did experiments, and then arrived at theoretical predictions. Finally, they concluded the results. So this all has been possible through scientific method, which involves the 4-step, an organized attempt, organized 4 steps. So no one can be earlier, no one can be later. It is organized attempt. First is observation, second is logical reasoning, third is model making, experimentation, and fourth one is theoretical predictions. So that is possible only through scientific method. And these scientists have never negated the observations made by the previous scientists. But they added to them. They added to their discrepancies. They removed their discrepancies and made the theory complete. This is how science acquires knowledge which is systematic, and systematic only through scientific method. So science is a systematic knowledge acquired through scientific method. So this is how we make progress in science. Now some questions on this topic. Question number 11. How did Huygens differ from Newton's while explaining wave nature of light? Question number 12. How Thomas Young confirmed wave nature of light? Question number 13. How Einstein, using Planck's idea, explained dual nature of radiation? And question number 14. State de Broglie wave hypothesis describing dual nature of matter. Thank you so much.